the full circle of statistics. And here's the word statistics in Greek, and you will understand why later, why we are translating the word statistics in Greek. So the full circle of a statistics project, the research topic. So it begins with a research topic. Then from the research topic, you have a research question. The research question, and then you have the hypothesis, and then follows with the objectives, and then the questionnaire. Then you collect the data, you organize the data, you represent the data, you analyze the data, and then you conclude, coming back to the hypothesis. So the conclusion is after you test the hypothesis to see whether it is true or not, and then the research question will be answered. So here you have the full circle of a statistics project. So as we said, it begins with a research topic. Okay, and from that topic, you have a research question. The question is the originator of the research. It is a question that should be answered by first collecting data after a hypothesis has been suggested. The research project sets out to answer the research question. This question is posed to the population. Therefore, it is referred to as a variable called a parameter. Now, the hypothesis now is a presumption or suggested explanation. It is a statement or sentence, if you will, made on the basis of limited or even no evidence as a starting point for further investigation. In other words, it is a possible answer to the research question with little or no empirical evidence from collected data. It provides a tentative value to the population parameter. So the hypothesis comes directly after the research question, trying to answer the research question without data. Then follows the objectives. The objectives are the to-dos in order to test the hypothesis. Bear in mind, the hypothesis is a possible answer, a presumption without no evidence. So these hypotheses have to be tested. So the objectives is what is going to be done to test the hypothesis. So the objectives come directly after the research question. And in the research question, you have the variables already stated, which is repeated in the hypothesis, and you can also find them in the objectives. Start talking about the variables. So then the questionnaire now is the data collecting tool of the variables identified in the objectives. Bear in mind, we said the variables are in research question. That's where they first appear. And then you have them repeated in the hypothesis, which is trying to answer the research question. So you have to mention the variables again. And the objectives have, the variables have to be mentioned because what you are going to do to test the hypothesis. Okay, so then the questionnaire now is going to use those variables to formulate the question so that the data can be collected. Okay, so there's an intrinsic link between the research question right to the questionnaire. Then with that questionnaire, you're going to collect the data. You're going to ask questions on that variable. Okay, using survey tools, and you're going to obtain a sample. You're going to organize the sample in frequency tables. You can use that, you can do it manually, or you can use statistical software to do that, organizing the data. Then you're going to represent the sample, represent the data in the form of diagrams like pie charts, bar graphs, etc. Then you're going to analyze the sample, analyze the data by calculating what you call descriptive measures, which are numbers to describe the data set. And these numbers are called sample statistics. Bear in mind, the research question is based on the population parameter. Now you're going to use sample data to try to answer that research question. And the numbers that you calculate from the sample are called statistics. Okay, so bear that in mind. That's another definition for statistics, apart from it being that whole process of statistics. It is also those numbers calculated from a sample. They are called statistics. And then now, you're going to conclude after testing the hypothesis, which is a claimed value of the population parameter using sample statistics. So that conclusion now is based on what you obtained from the calculations you did on the sample. All right, so you're going to conclude, and this conclusion is referred to the population. So you're going to use sample statistics to conclude about the population. All right, you're going to infer your findings from the sample on the population parameter. So you are trying to answer the question, the research question, using sample data.